We both usually work separately as individual artists, but for figure we decided to work together for the first time. I'm usually based primarily in painting, so my work up until now has been sort of using found anonymous footage and photographs and slides, using like a found archive to create paintings of various scales.
We're both trained as painters, but then I sort of split off and started making moving image works as well, which sort of explored the concerns that I had with the still images and paintings, but then trying to move it into kind of trying to make moving paintings almost. I've been exploring ideas to do with scale and how something insignificant and kind of small and undetectable can become like monumental and sort of iconic when you put it in an isolated gallery space and shift the scale very dramatically.
And it's also a little bit related to the uncanny, like the power of an image once it's enlarged physically. I've just recently started making quite large scale paintings based on cine films. So I thought it was an interesting time to try project out with Rachel.
So that's kind of what ties both of our works together. I think the idea of rescuing imagery or noticing things that other people would overlook.
For Figure 4 we're interested in just exploring that crossover, because usually as twins we try to differentiate and create our own artistic identity. But for this we thought, what happens if we just fully embrace that and explore the crossover rather than the differences.
The performance is based around a recording of me and Laura working in our studio together, and then also I've made recordings of the projectors that Laura uses when she's transferring the cine films to digital media. So I kind of used that as a starting point to make different rhythms and beats and sort of atmospheres.
The title of the Figure 4 project that we're doing is Glimpser, which comes from a Willem de Kooning quote where he talks about being a slipping glimpser and the slippage of meaning and things being quite sort of undefined. So we thought it was quite an interesting theme to take on, especially for the nature of the Figure project.
Yeah, it's kind of like using the ideas of painting but without necessarily making paintings as the work.
We're presenting an open-access work-in-progress exhibition of performance, video and process that asks how the psychology of decision-making can be observed and challenged as it unfolds.
We're exploring this through the ongoing creation of live work involving camera body and performative body.
Throughout the week, we're opening up a series of live performative experiments that examine the shifts of control within the interplay of camera and body, including the dynamics that develop between us as collaborators over the week.
We're using found materials and the visual language of exterior sites to indicate the course of action.
We hope to interrogate the roles and languages of both collaborative and competitive actions, the idea being to move towards a direct and live mode of working that sits between performance, film and sculpture.
We're seeking to answer a set of self-imposed questions, namely, who decides what is seen? Can a mid-ground between action and reaction be reached?
And what space exists between the physically live and the digitally live image.